Yesterday, the Washington Post declined to endorse Kamala Harris, and can I just tell you, the amount of serotonin and dopamine it gives me watching the liberal media establishment melting down, it's like Christmas. These journalists are so pampered and coddled, they live in their own little bubbles and echo chambers in Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and New York, and for the first time in their lives, they haven't gotten exactly what they want. There's this one woman, her name is Molly, she writes for Vanity Fair, she's also a senior political analyst on MSNBC, which is kind of like being a senior political analyst at Chuck E. Cheese, no one really cares, but nonetheless, she's posting and saying, "Democracy dies in sunlight." Now, this is an affluent woman who writes for Vanity Fair, she goes on television shows all the time, she lives in New York City, she went to Barnard, she's the granddaughter of a famous author, and she's acting like Donald Trump is going to send her to a camp. The fact that these people think they have any real credibility left is hilarious to me. This same Molly went on MSNBC back in July and tried to accuse JD Vance of racism and wanting more white children in America. I guess she forgot he has an Indian wife and mixed race children himself. I also just saw another journalist who writes for the Washington Post. She said her mother canceled her subscription because they refused to endorse Kamala Harris. Now, when I went to her profile, it says, "I write about abortion for the Washington Post." So maybe your mom was just tired of reading your stories. All I have to say to these mainstream media liberal journalists is boo-hoo-hoo, cry me a river, go buy a box of Kleenex. I'm so sorry your employer did not endorse the candidate you love in this election cycle. Me, I've worked at restaurants, I've worked in an ice cream truck out in the hot sun. I'm sure many of you have worked jobs you don't like. You're probably doing that right now. We can't cry because our bosses don't endorse the candidates we want for president. Grow up. Grow some cojones. To quote Justin Timberlake, cry me a river, people. And what I don't understand is, these newspapers, why do they even endorse candidates? Y'all are supposed to be unbiased, you're supposed to just report the news. Now you're showing you're actually just biased and promoting propaganda. Me, I've never taken a dollar from the RNC or the DNC, from Trump or Kamala. I call it like I see it, and I'm only beholden to the truth. I don't even endorse candidates. And the kicker here is that all of these journalists at the Washington Post, they don't realize they have almost no influence whatsoever. The fact that they think democracy is going to die because the Washington Post did not endorse Kamala Harris shows you they live in little bubbles. If the Washington Post stopped existing right now, if everyone got laid off, they never wrote another piece, it would have no effect on the United States of America whatsoever. All right, my friends, thanks for liking and following. Drop a comment. Tell me how you feel about the Washington Post not endorsing Kamala Harris. What do you think about all of these journalists in New York, DC, and LA freaking out and going apoplectic because they didn't get what they want for the first time? I have so much more exciting content coming. I will be here every single day until the election and beyond, giving you the news you're not going to get in the mainstream media, because these people, if you remember, they did not report on Joe Biden's cognitive decline. They said he was sharp and quick and doing cartwheels in private. Now they're telling us to love Kamala Harris. Something isn't adding up, but I will be here doing my job. I will see you on the next one. Bye.